made a ruling on a matter that the first deputy speaker had ruled on the 20th of February, which was to the effect that the Minister of Finance should make available to Parliament all documents, all contracts, comfort letters, and guarantees which were executed on this car power thing. Now, after over 3 months of waiting, Mr. Speaker finally says, look, if the minister does not want to come because they hold a different legal opinion, he cannot force them, and that we should go to the Supreme Court for interpretation. This was a very sad day for my parliamentary career and for all parliamentarians. Should we invoke Article 123, commit them for contempt? We cannot. Now, this government, in one way, would act as and when it pleases. Show of power. We know what happened just last week. A matter is before the highest court of the land for determination. Behind the scenes, suddenly the government goes ahead to make an appointment. So this government does not really respect the rule of law. This government looks at its political convenience, and as and when it pleases, it would want to act. So on this Conti project, if government believes that it is that transparent, why avoiding Parliament? Because the minister has been coming. And if you have all the documentation, parliamentarians want to know what stage you've gotten to. Why are you failing? He mentioned Maslock, that there's an arrangement to even support those who have been kicked out from Sodom and Gomorrah, for Maslock to support some of the market women. Please, we support. Maslock says it has no money. A 35 million Ghana cedi that was supposed to be given from taken out of the oil revenue for them. For over a year, Maslock has not received it. The last time we raised this matter here, Philip said this is a matter of reconciliation. Meanwhile, PIAC says they've checked. Maslock has still not received. Okay. We don't know the whereabouts of that money. So which money is Maslock going to disburse to the market women?
All right, let's move on.
And the reconciliation has not ended. I clarify this point about the accusation he makes about the respect for the rule.
You are doing the power, executive power.
Again, you see, Alex and his colleagues in the MPP have a penchant for making business allegations against the President of the Republic of Ghana. You see, the Constitution is clear in Article 72 on how the Electoral Commissioner should be appointed. The President of the Republic of Ghana, mind you, also has access to seasoned lawyers. He has an Attorney General who is also a senior lawyer who advises him. Let it not be said by the MPP that anytime the President is about to exercise a mandate given him by the Constitution, they can resort to frivolity as a way of staying his hand. The Supreme Court will do his job, but the President has also done his job. Okay? If you are dissatisfied, it is very clear what processes to adopt. Otherwise, we will get to a point in our lives where somebody will say that you cannot breathe because the Constitution does not give you the power to do so. So I've gone to court to seek interpretation. But until that case is determined, even though they've not got to seek an injunction, don't breathe and you will eventually die. That is the scenario that Alex and the MPP want to paint for us. That you go to court on interpretation of a specific provision or specific provisions of the Constitution, and you say that because you've gone there, when the court has not made any pronouncement on it, you yourself has not found it necessary to injunct the carrying out of the process, and you say that because you and wait for you, when there is a vacuum to be filled at such a sensitive position, the President believes that he has acted in accordance with the law. What the law requires him to do, he has done. If you have problems with it, go and seek your interpretation. But in the process of doing so, don't foist your own view and beliefs on the nation and say that the whole nation should grind to a halt. You see, I have told you before that when you repeat a lie many times, it doesn't become the truth.
Is he lying?
Wow.
Oh, I have not said you are lying. Listen to me carefully. When you repeat a lie many times, it doesn't become the truth. There's no way that government has squandered any $35 million Ghana cedis meant for Maslock. PIAC made an observation in one of their reports. And mind you, that report in itself is not conclusive, absolutely conclusive. It is subject to reconciliation and debate. You understand the point I'm making? There have been many times that they've made findings that the Ministry of Finance has disproved. So if you go behind PIAC, then you go to Maslock in an unofficial capacity to ask, oh, some 35 billion, did they come to you? And they say, oh, we've not received it. You don't come and highlight that as wrongdoing or corruption. You understand the point I'm making? What you do is to go to the proper institution, invoke the proper processes, and get the matter investigated or looked into. But you don't come and highlight it every day and make it seem that merely because you went to meet somebody at Maslock and the person told you that they've not received this money, then that money has been diverted. That in any event has absolutely nothing to do with the matter we are discussing today. When I said that Maslock was
giving examples.
He was not giving any example. He was simply, because I mentioned Maslock, he needed to chip in the age-old misinformation that he puts out there about this PIAC report and Maslock. But the final point I want to make is that the president and the government are very respectful of our laws.
Okay.
We respect state institutions. Indeed, I am a strong advocate for allowing state institutions to do their work. Now, other persons in other arms of government who relate to the executive must also do things properly and not run to berate the executive unduly on every matter. If you request information from any government agency and the processes are clearly set out in your own standing orders and in other laws, you follow that due process. If for any reason you are unable to reach a minister for him to come and answer specific questions, you don't assume that the minister is running away from you. I've told you already that the minister has spoken publicly upon media inquiries about this matter. So the answers to this matter are already in the public domain. But you say you want further explanations. No problem. The minister, I'm sure, is available. But if you don't get him on 1 or 2 days, you don't create the impression that he's running away. How can the minister of finance run away? He's always, you yourself say he's always in parliament. So if he is minded to run away from parliament, will he come and transact business with you? He won't. So sometimes a lot of people are unfair to the president and the government, and they latch onto unrelated matters to draw conclusions that are often hasty. And I think that we need to move away from that.
Alex, quickly cycle on to the next paper.
Three issues to respond to.
Quickly, please.
On the issue of Maslock loan, the money, you see, PIAC, before it comes out with its report, it engages the Ministry of Finance. First of all, it is the Ministry of Finance that gives PIAC the information with respect to oil receipts and disbursements. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, this issue is 2013 PIAC report. Now, PIAC members, after receiving the information, went further, and this is captured in their report, to verify whether or not Maslock had received that money. Because Maslock was on air through its chief executive saying that they had not received any money from government since 2013. In fact, in December 2014, when they came for the budget hearing, the chief executive confirmed saying, now, isn't it the case of diversion of public funds? If Ministry of Finance in its record, he is talking about Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance in its own records says that, oh, we gave this 35 million to Maslock. And Maslock, over a year, still says that we've not received. These are our books. Check. Maslock comes to Parliament to say that we have received no money. Don't you think it is important to find out, to trace the whereabouts of the 35 million, and it's a lie? I'll leave it to the judgment of Ghanaians.
Okay, the next one.
I haven't said it's a lie. I've only said that.
No, it's okay.
You don't conclude at that stage.
No, but there is an official report.
No.
If I may finish.
You don't conclude at that stage.
Felix, I know you are a government communicator.
What you do is to go further to conduct proper investigation into the matter and ask the necessary questions. So you can ask a question, oh, what happened to that money? But don't say that the money has been diverted and constantly highlight it as an example of corruption. That is what I have a problem with. Okay. It is not that you are asking the question about it. No.
But
Alex,
at this stage, it amounts to a diversion.
How is
in the sense
diversion?
That, can I finish?
How is it a diversion?
In the sense that the very ministry that has the primary document is unable to trace and know the whereabouts of the
that
money.
Is also not correct.
Please, let me finish.
They've told you that they will get back to you. They didn't say
please,
they can't trace
can I
it.
finish?
Please.
When we
put the accurate facts out. Don't disturb
well,
them.
they say they'll get back to you.
They said they'll get back to you. That's what they said.
Please, let me finish.
If they haven't, it doesn't even mean that there's been a diversion.
Okay, make your point. Your next one.
Now,
the third point.
The minister himself, the finance minister, and his deputy,
who's been running away,
were at Koforudia when we're discussing the PIAC.
And what did they tell you?
They never said they would get back to me or get back to Parliament.
What did they say?
It was clear that the whereabouts of the 35 million was unknown. Anyway, let's get to the final point.
You've not furnished evidence now, to that effect.
You've only stated something. The issue of Kappa, which I raised, he says that the Parliament has all the powers. I agree. But to the extent that Parliament would commit a minister for contempt of Parliament because the minister has disobeyed the orders of Mr. Speaker, I believe that would be a difficult thing for Mr. Speaker to do. That is why if the minister had made available all documents, wouldn't have been in court on Kappa. Right. To conclude it, Nanaba, so why don't you because he was not because he is not a lawyer, I would forgive him for certain statements he made with respect to the Supreme Court matter. But let me make a point. You have a matter, Nanaba, with a very objective thinking. A matter is before the court for interpretation. The court has granted this audience, and the Attorney General, who is the chief legal advisor to government by virtue of Article 881, has sought the leave of the court to file a statement of defense out of time, and same has been done. Don't you think it is proper when the same court has fixed a date for hearing? Don't you think it is proper for the appointing authorities or whoever believes that he has the power to exercise under a certain provision of the Constitution to wait? Because the person who has advised you, is he saying that it is the learned Attorney General who advised Mr. President that go ahead to held the Supreme Court? Is that what he's saying? Because the learned Attorney General is in court representing the state. So if you say that the president has legal advisors, the president has a seasoned Attorney General, we agree. Nobody is saying that the Attorney General is not seasoned. In your own view, that is the case. He's senior at the bar. That is why she is there and has a deputy whom I so much respect. But if you have submitted yourself to the authority of the court, isn't it proper to wait for the court to determine the matter? By the way, in the Abu Ramadan case and in the Benjamin Mensah case, which I was involved, the Supreme Court was very clear that if you bring a matter to them for determination and the act has not been done, you wait for them to determine. There's nothing like going to apply for a restraining order per se at the Supreme Court. If Mr. President had appointed and was going to get an interpretation as to the mode of appointment, that would be a different matter. But this is a matter that borders on the rule of law. If we do not help to uphold justice in this country, we don't give confidence to people, and we want to do show of power, want to look at political convenience, please, we'll be setting a bad precedent. And on this occasion, I believe the most appropriate thing for Mr. President to do, to assure Ghanaians that he respect the rule of law, is to withdraw the appointment and wait for the Supreme Court to determine the matter. Alex and his because it is unfair. You are so obsessed. The same person was nominated for appointment to the Supreme Court. The Judicial Council could not vet her to pass her for appointment. You see, why the same person? Let's get it right. No, the same person, Mrs. Charlotte was nominated by the President for consideration to the Supreme Court. The Judicial Council, by the constitutional provision, Article 1442, is supposed to vet all nominees and then do the interview, conduct due diligence and all that, and forward a report to Mr. President in an order of merit. Then Mr. President will exercise his power of appointment. This same person, not once, not twice, but more, her name has been sent to the Judicial Council for consideration to the Supreme Court, and she could not make it to the final list. The same person now that we are looking at a matter at the Supreme Court for interpretation, all of a sudden is moved to EC as a new boss. My information over the weekend was that even the Council of State was not at all involved. My information is that the Council of State was not even at all involved. It's not a lie. People should check the way you are treating this country and the way you want to treat our laws.
Enough, Alex.
It is an absolute lie.
It is not.
That the Council of State was not involved in this.
Then bring the evidence.
Oh, please. What evidence are you talking about? What evidence have you furnished for this?
You are in exclusive possession of whatever information.
Okay.
No.
What outrageous lie? If you think, why would you submit the president to the Supreme Court?
Please.
When
there's nothing.
You sent her name to the for appointment to the Supreme Court.
There's no nexus.
It didn't happen.
Okay, there's no nexus.
Not once, not twice,
between
but several.
The claims he makes.
Then suddenly
he makes.
Respect the Supreme Court. Submit to the authority of the Supreme Court.
Of the position of chairperson of the Electoral Commission. There's
no difference.
No connection.
There's no nexus.
Listen, what are they on court on? Are they in court on the matter of Mrs.
Ghanaians are very curious.
Suitability?
Ghanaians are very curious
for the position of chairperson, or they are in court claiming that they don't understand the constitution, which has been operational since 1992, so it should be interpreted for them.
It's the latter.
So what is he talking about? So because you
the second one has sufficed.
Suddenly
so
you
they
contrive.
both.
Suddenly you contrive.
Because we are very curious. The same person whose name was sent to the Judicial Council,
you will
not one, not twice, but several.
You will not bastardize her to the background. That's what you are doing.
Please.
You are deliberately attempting to bastardize her.
You sent the same name to the Judicial Council. The president nominated
not
once, not twice. So why the rush? Wait for the Supreme Court to determine that.
The MPP and
wait for the Supreme Court to
determine. Calm down.
Let me tell you what Alex on behalf of the MPP is doing.
Me on behalf.
You know that
the rule of law.
Please.
So that this country
respect the president's authority to do what he has to do. What you are simply doing is trying to undermine the president's authority. That's all.
Okay.
Because otherwise,
the president is undermining the Supreme Court.
When President Rawlings appointed Dr. Faridan, when President Kufuor appointed about 7 or so commissioners, when President Mills appointed about 4 commissioners. So that's why I gave you that example, that we can't live in a country where people resort to frivolity as a way of preventing the exercise of the president's powers.
Okay.
If you were minded to question the president's ability to do what he did, you should have gone to court on that specific matter. You cannot go to court on a different matter and come and insist that the president should do what he did. But he says it
suffices.
How does it suffice? How does it suffice? You cannot listen. There cannot be any omnibus ruling.
Felix,
listen to me. What he is attempting to do is to mislead your viewers and Ghanaians in general. I'm telling you that. Tell me what provision of the constitution the president has breached in doing what he did.
Okay.
The ultimate document by which we govern this country is the constitution.
Of course.
Article 72 is clear.
Okay.
Article 90, Article 91.1 is also quite clear. What should be done? Okay. But you've rushed to go. And how many times have they not gone to court and gotten thrown out on many issues? That's what they do.
All right.
So
he won with Ayi Mensah.
But that's one out of several cases.
Okay,
they rushed to court on what do you call it, the Tuabo Freeport project. They were thrown out.
Let's move on. This issue is very dear to my heart.
They were thrown out.
Let's talk about this one.
So the president has complied with the constitution.
Let's talk about this one. Vice President Kwesi Emisaka has called on Ghanaians to participate actively in the monthly cleanup exercises to rid the country of filth and safeguard their lives. He said while government had made the needed investments to improve waste management and sanitation, it behoved the citizens to show support in programs aimed at creating a sound and conducive environment needed for growth. The Vice President said this way he inaugurated an ultra-modern and specialized waste disposal transit service at Teshin in Accra on Friday. The facility is also meant to house a medical waste treatment plant. Alex, I'll start with you on this one.
I would plead with
you
to conclude.
We are not. No, we are done with that. No, we are done. No, we are done.
After today, I'm taking a long break.
I will not grant you that leave.
I'm taking some break after today. I think your producer has told you. So just for
but I will not grant you that leave. No.
Especially.
Let's talk about this.
Nanaba.
No, Alex. Otherwise, we talk and then.
Nanaba, what is this all about? The what you just.
The waste transfer station.
What is it all about?
Alex.
No, I'm pleading with you. Oh, but it's my duty
better
get you to. It's my duty to get you to
waste management.
Explain
so that I can answer. For instance, not to concentrate so much on the facility. The Vice President asking all of us to join programs that ensure.
So now, that is what his job. That is the errand he does. Is that the point?
What do you mean?
No, I'm asking. Is that the errand you ask?
But this is a very important issue, isn't it?
Please don't seek my opinion on this very matter. No, I beg you. I am only asking, are you saying that it's a new errand that is embarking on? I don't get it. That's why I asked for explanation. Nanaba, you see, you are not being fair to me.
I'm confused.
I want to understand you. I say, explain to me.
But I've explained to you what the issue is, and you're asking me, is that the latest errand?
Let me understand the issue. Nanaba, let me understand the issue.
Felix, I'll let you come in here. Here, read it.
Well, I mean, I regret Alexis.
Alex is up to.
No,
don't disrespect the Vice President. I mean, what do you mean by he's on an error?
No, I said you are reading.
The man has said that.
Hold on.
Let him make his point.
Read. Fine. You've not read it.
We should embrace programs that would ensure best practices in our environment. Is that a wrong?
I believe that. No. I've gotten the explanation. Time will not allow me to read. I believe that I would agree with Mr. Vice President that we should embrace programs that will do what?
Ensure
best practices
in the the environment.
Very well. Equally important. We should embrace programs. No, I'm not diverting. No, we are having a broader discussion.
Don't divert. We are talking about sanitation.
Yes. I agree. An all-inclusive discussion, equally, and it's very integral. If we are embracing a program that would ensure what environmental what. Nanaba, help me. You see, you don't want to.
I will not.
Very well. From what you have just said, I believe that we should equally put in place measures that will help build this economy. Ensure the stability of the city.
It's okay.
Ensure that Ghanaians have regular supply of power.
You know, I regret
and we deal with issues of corruption head on and stop the selective enforcement of the law. So that generally we can help to protect the environment.
When are you starting this leave?
I think
after today. Thank God.
But you're happy I'm going on a break. You are.
Yes.
Well, let me start off by saying.
I love you, but sometimes you are trouble.
Let me start off by saying that we are addressing all the issues that Alex raised.
Are you?
You are not hard on
absolutely.
Even when you are supposed to follow up on something. Sometimes you will not, and then you will put me to the
generality.
It's okay. It's okay.
The generality of
it's okay, Nanaba. It's okay.
The generality of Ghanaians would
it's okay. You are human. It's
that
okay.
Whilst the problems with electricity shortages is a major difficulty, there has been improvements, and we are well on our way.
We
want an end to it.
Yes, but we will end it.
What about
but on the road?
Okay,
on the road,
let's talk about the Vice President's call. Why are you all diverting?
I'm interested.
Sanitation.
You should allow us because he's interested. He's accepted the invitation.
No. You would discuss what I asked you to do.
I'm just about to discuss it.
But
I'm just about to discuss it. You see,
to discuss the fall of the city.
No, I'm just about to discuss it. You see, the Vice President and even to a greater extent the President, have led from the front on this particular matter about galvanizing support around activities meant at ensuring that we overcome the issue of environmental, the challenges we have with our sanitation arrangements. So the National Sanitation Day concept was launched. I mean, I was shocked to find out that members of the Ghanaian society even attempted to mock this very useful activity. It is all well and good to insist that state agencies that have the mandate to ensure that our environment is clean undertake their mandate. And these agencies, to the best of their ability, are doing so. There are challenges and constraints, but in spite of that, they continue to carry out their mandate. But there's a role that you and I can play in all of this. Because when you live in a vicinity and there's littering, we do not observe environmental standards, we do not observe good environmental practice and all that. In the end, it will affect us. If we dump refuse in gutters and it rains and they are choked and the water gets into our homes, ultimately we suffer. So there's every need and justification for citizens to be involved in this effort, even as government rolls out the measures that are necessary to ensure that what the citizens do is complemented in a manner that guarantees everybody's safety. So the opening of this waste, if you like, what you call waste transit point is an important step. At the very least, it assures us that we are going to have an enhanced waste management system. And that for me is gratifying. The government will continue to do more to the extent that the resources are available to ensure that we have this sort of system deployed across the country for proper waste management. But as citizens, we cannot shirk our responsibility also in ensuring that we put our shoulders to the wheel to complement the efforts that government is making.
Yeah. Now, are you ready to talk about sanitation?
Oh, I've had my bite.
Okay.
I've had my bite.
I'll gladly move on.
Okay.
Okay. If you go to page 15, is it page 15? Yes, page 15 of the...
Now, but last week, I recall you wanted us to discuss the fall of the city. You remember? That we couldn't do it because of time. and traders are complaining bitterly.
The Food and Drugs Authority, acting on a special investigation by the Ghanaian Times on Friday, raided 2 branches of the Royal Jade restaurant at East Legon and Dansoman in Accra for using expired products to prepare food for their customers. Not to concentrate so much on this particular restaurant, but expired products generally. The last time a lady walked into the news, which I thought was really, really commendable. She had bought sausages from a shop in somewhere around Sakumono. One had expired, the other hadn't. She didn't consume the one that hadn't even expired. She just walked in here and said, this is what I just bought. What can I do? Where do I go to? So we haven't done too much education as well, where people should go when they realize that a particular product has expired.
I think that as part of the enforcement powers of Food and Drugs Authority, they should get government to resource them if they've not had the needed resources to go on field monitoring and all that, because it's very, very important. The law, I
think they do that, but I bet they can't access every nook and cranny. So
yes,
that becomes a challenge.
To what extent? I mean, if you do it on a few occasions and perhaps you need
it's a consistency.
Yes, because it has to do with our health. You remember recently when this Ebola vaccine thing came up, it appeared that the FDA had been left on its own because government officials in Parliament were trying to say that the government was not even aware, which I found very strange. Okay, that you were going to undertake such an exercise and it had not even been forwarded to the ministry for cabinet to approve same and get the whole thing properly communicated to the people. I found it to be strange. So if today FDA is embarking on this exercise, I would rather urge government to resource them to be able to discharge their duties, because we all eat, we all drink, and if at the end of the day whatever enters us aren't wholesome, then it's a very serious problem. There wouldn't be any distinction between myself and Felix or anybody, because if you walk into a restaurant and it's an expired product, it's an expired product.
Yeah.
If you go and take a soft drink and it's expired, it's expired. If you don't check it, you're going to have problems. Okay. So it's very important. They have a very big mandate that they are supposed to get well resourced to enable them discharge their duty. So I think this one, he will take it up with the sector minister. I know Mr. Segbefia is a very hard-working person, but we want to see him
the FDA has also.
Don't you want to see him?
The FDA has been up and doing. You recall that in the last few years they've waged some kind of campaign on the producers of some herbal medicines whose production methods did not measure up to scratch. Indeed, sometimes when you see the conditions under which some of these things are done, you wonder why human beings would even be so wicked as to subject their fellow human beings to such insanitary products. But regulatory agencies and government as a whole can only do so much. They require cooperation from members of the public. And I commend the woman who walked into your studios with those expired products. I mean, it is impossible, despite the best efforts of these agencies, to be everywhere at the same time. Some people, motivated by various considerations, would always want to beat the system and sell substandard products. It is up to you and I to be eternally vigilant to ensure that we make certain that the products we are buying meet the requisite standards.